Well, here we are again today at the West Hollywood Silver Spoon, and we have three of our non-regulars here. We have Don Sherman, of course, who is a regular, Greg Lewis, and Joe Turkel. And Joe is kind of new to our group. He's an actor I'm sure all people recognize from many great films.
Really?
Shining,
yeah.
And all kinds of weird.
And Greg, actor, musician, comedian, raconteur, general misfit, storyteller.
Oh yeah, okay.
You've sold racks.
Record. But it's the first time we don't have Harry with us, and I must tell you, I miss him already.
You miss him already. Well, Harry's not too far away. He can throw a comment in, I think.
I helped book the show.
Yeah, he's turned into a booker. How do you like that?
Okay, guys.
Joe, what are you doing now? You doing anything?
I'm retired. I have a lot of money. I have so much money. I shouldn't talk to you people. I have so much money.
Do you find
I got enough money to last me the rest of my life, provided I die tomorrow.
Right.
Did you find it hard to retire? Because you retire, you don't have to do nothing.
No.
You don't have to do nothing.
Seriously, you want to get serious?
Yeah, sure.
When I retired, I turned around and walked away. Didn't feel a moment's regret. I just turned around and left the business. At Warner Brothers, I was sitting there with a whole group of guys we were interviewing, and this 10-cent movie star came in. 10-cent movie star. And he walked right through. I said, wait a second, we're sitting here, and he comes walking in. What the hell? Well, he's the star, and you know, you got... I sat there, and I said to myself, Joe, you've done all the good stuff for Kubrick, you've done this, you've done that, you've done so. And to get treated this way, to be abused, I didn't like it. I said, honey, take my name off the list. You know, you're next, Mr. Turkel. I said, take my name off, I'm retiring. And there was a dozen actors there. Don Beddoe was there, God bless him, may he rest in peace. All the actors, and they all applauded. I retired that moment.
In that moment?
When I walked out to the car.
But they stayed.
They stayed. And when I walked out to the
big
car,
houses in the
I felt such a relief. Just a sense of relief and well-being.
So what do you do now?
Now I have my grandson, and I have my children, my grandchildren, and I speak, I lecture, I write. You know, I keep busy.
Lecture? What do you lecture on?
The sex life of the moth. Very important.
You promised you wouldn't bring up Newt Gingrich.
Newt Gingrich, you have to use bad language. I lecture about Stanley Kubrick. That's it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's into the future. What does the future hold for us, or anything?
Well, the future has... the greatest gift we have from God is not knowing when or how. And you fill it in, what I'm talking about. You know what I mean.
Yes.
Not knowing when or how.
That's a pleasure.
And that's a pleasure. If you knew you were going to live 100 years, it would be the worst thing in the world.
Oh, would you be bored?
No, you'd think about it. I got 38 years left. I got 22 years left. You don't know.
I have 44 minutes left.
That's my life.
Oh, I see.
If they describe to a kid at birth what he's in for, he'll turn it down. Don't you think so?
Yeah, you'll pass on the part.
I'm leaving. Hey, whoa.
I pass. I'll talk.
Well, how does he feel? He says you're going to grow, you're going to get older, and then you're going to get diseases, and you're going to crumble up, and you're going to die. He said, well, that's where I am now. I'm in good shape. Leave me alone.
I'm not bothering anybody, right?
It's nice and damp in here.
Right. It's quiet.
And
she's floating around everywhere.
She's nice to me. She feeds me whatever I want. So why do you want to take me out of this?
These guys are both crazy. You do know that.
Well, they are crazy.
Oh my goodness! To be an actor, to be involved with theatrics, you have to be.
You got to be a little out of your mind.
A little wonky, as I say.
But doesn't that make life better for you?
You bet it does.
You pay dues for it, but don't you really pay dues for it?
You pay dues, and it's a delight when it happens, and it's right in your prime for 30, 40 years, and you're having a good time.
And unfortunately, you have to have principles, otherwise you'd still be in there giving us great motion pictures. So get rid of your principles and come back to work.
Let me tell you a story about Kubrick, guys. I don't want to hog anything. You want to jump in?
No hogging.
Kubrick started out as a hustler.
We have a film and a camera.
Kubrick was a hustler. He used to, I'll tell you a story about Stanley to knock his socks off. When he was 10, he used to play chess, and he beat everybody. He beat everybody. And he'd get the money, save it, then go to the movies on Times Square. You remember Times Square, what it used to be like in those days?
God, it was so
800
fun.
movie. And he'd get his education off the screen. What he'd see. 40 years later, we're in China. We're in Britain doing a picture called The Shining. And Jack Nicholson says to me, "Joe, let's go to fight tonight." Who's fighting? He says, "Ali is fighting this guy Spinks." And Stanley he's got his finder, and he's looking around for a shot. Spinks is gonna, Stanley says, "Ali is gonna win, he's the champ." And Jack Nicholson says, "No, he's not the champ. He was beaten by Spinks 6 months ago. This is the refight, the replay."
Yeah.
Not the replay.
The rematch.
Rematch. And all of a sudden, Stanley Kubrick, this giant, he puts his finder down. He's made a say, "You mean to tell me that Ali is not the champ?" And Nichols said, "No, Stanley, what the hell are you doing? Where have you been? It's Leon Spinks." Stanley looks for a second, and you can see his brain. And he goes like that. His secretary runs over. And he says, "Call my bookie." Right away, Stanley Kubrick, "Call my bookie." Who ever heard of things? I mean, not from this kind of guy. "Call my bookie, bet me 5,000 pounds. I don't care what the odds are. 5,000 pounds on Ali to win." And 5,000 pounds in those days was $10,000. He used to bet for pennies and nickels, dimes, chess, and here he is, an older man. And the old saying is, the difference between men and boys is the price of the toys. You heard that one. And what happened is, Stanley made the comment, and he was right. He said, "This fight is fixed. There's no way they're going to make any money with Leon Spinks, and the fight game is damn near as crooked as the picture business."
So they set up the first fight.
I don't know. Maybe he beat him on the square. But anyhow, Spinks got beat, Ali won, and Stanley made 8,000, whatever it was, for his 5.
And you got nothing.
I got nothing. And Jack and I went to the fight, had a good time.
You're around all this money and all this fame, and you don't take anything for yourself. Why are you?
I'm not a taker, I'm a giver.
No, that's
Don't
why
stop
you.
me. I'll break your glass.
That's why you retired.
You two are going to
why
fight.
you
I'm going to
retired.
talk about Milton Berle.
Yeah,
No,
listen.
oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, Uncle Milty.
You
You
know
talked
the
about
great
fixing
story about
fight. Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
I got a great story too, but I don't know if it'll fit on the screen.
Well, just pick one and tell it.
No pun intended, of course.
Okay, no.
Okay, we were doing Guys and Dolls, and Milton always had a reputation, as we all know at the table, that he was very well endowed.
By his creator.
That's right.
Who else would touch it?
And what happened was we were doing Guys and Dolls,
Yes.
and it was intermission time. And I went into the washroom, and Milton Berle was urinating.
Yeah.
Tell me how wholesome this man was here with his grandchildren.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And I looked, and I went, "Oh my God." It was so long and big, I thought he got it at a joke shop. And I looked at it, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it, and I said, "I'm sorry, Milton, I'm not gay, but I can't help looking, but staring at you."
Well, that means you're gay.
And he goes, "Well, whatever it meant, I was looking."
Okay, you were you were good.
I was in
What
awe.
the hell? You weren't taking it yet.
I was in awe, and I looked, and he goes, "Good to see where it's been." And he told me Marilyn Monroe, Ellie McPherson, name Rita Hayworth, everybody went down the line. And I said, "Gee whiz." No.
So then they don't look at his
Wait,
face.
I got more. And he goes, and I said, "Milton," I said, "that is the lie." He says, "Every time I get a blackout, I pass out. Every time I get an erection, I black out." And I said, "Oh my God." And he goes, "I could put on a blonde wig and it'll pass for Paul Williams." And then he started wanging it around to dry it. And I went, Milton, it's creating wind.
Is this true?
True story, so help me.
No, it's a homosexual fantasy. And it's
And
okay to have
now
that.
listen to this, right in the middle of the whole thing, our stage manager comes running in, and I went, this isn't what you think it is. And he didn't say a word, but he grabbed our lapel mics.
Oh, good
The guy
thing.
left the sound on.
On, and they were hearing
And
it.
the
How many
entire-
women were lined up
The
here?
entire theater heard it.
Oh.
Now we go back after the intermission. Milton gets applause on his entrance.
Standing ovation. Yeah.
And he goes like this.
Oh, that's great.
That's my Milton Berle story.
Well, I'm not.
I
How did that start?
That's true. How
and I
about
felt so insignificant because
Forrest
I
Tucker?
understood.
You know the story before. I'm not going to go near that story.
Oh yeah, that's a good story.
That's a true story.
Take out enough to
You know
win.
the
Is that
Forrest
it?
Tucker
Forrest
story?
Tucker, and they, oh God, forget about it. This is not yet. This
Yeah, I'm
Take
sorry.
it all
Yeah.
out, show
oh my goodness.
You know, you got me steered on that win, but I wanted to talk about fights. He knew fights. Milton.
Yeah.
And he used to tell me every time there was a fight, this guy's gonna win, that guy's gonna win. And I used to bet, you know, and I go, well, I bet $100, $200. He goes, bet a lot. And I went, holy Christ. And I never went, you know, over the thing. I've bet $100, $200. And he got it every time. He won every time.
Won? Really?
Every time.
You trying to tell me that fighting can be fixed?
Well,
No.
Wrestling is
when it wasn't,
insincere?
he would tell me, don't bet.
Well, Don, you were in Rocky. You 1, 2, 3, 4, something
That's
like
about
that.
how long I was in Rocky.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
5 times, and I had about a minute on the slump. But he keeps bringing me back just to humiliate me.
Guys, I got to
If it
get
wasn't for
cracking. I got to get going.
Were you going to leave us? So you did very well, and thank you for adding to our whatever we have here.
Well, we kibitz a little.
Well, we got a little Kubrick story out of it. That's worth
We're
it.
taping every day here.
Let me tell you something. I could give you stories about Stanley Kubrick. I would be an old. I could talk for 3 hours on Stanley, and you'd be stunned with what this guy did and what he can do and what he did and how every. One last quickie. When I did a picture for Blade Runner.
Right.
That's Ridley Scott. Ridley came over to me 3 times and says, Joe, how do you think Mr. Kubrick would have approached the scene? And that's how much total envy and respect.
Yes,
Wow,
indeed.
that's
And I says, Ridley, you're doing fine. Just do your own thing, you're doing fine. It's okay. As when you go to see Stanley, when you see him, I don't know him. What do you mean? I've been to parties, but I can't walk over to the man and just, interject. I says, walk over and say, Joe Turkel says hello. That'll give you an intro. But Ridley Scott and every director I've ever worked with holds Stanley in such esteem, it is frightening.
Joe,
Stanley,
tell him the
the
story.
the grand master of filmmaking.
Tell him
Well,
about the
indeed, it was
religion.
well earned. That
Tell him about
respect.
the religion. You asked Stanley one time. about
Oh
religion.
God, I said, Stanley, are you religious? And he was, that's all.
That's it?
That's
You
it.
want to discuss it?
But he's just eschewed religion, obviously.
Tell that story about Adolf Mann.
Oh no, that's not too long. Too long. I got to get going, guys. I mean, it'll drive
I
you
love
crazy.
Adolf.
Another time.
Another time,
Promise. Save this for another
we'll
time.
put the camera back on you, Joe, and
Well, these guys,
Get more of a story.
they've been around the
Are
block.
we close to the end of the show? Because if we are, he can give us the word of the day.
we got about 4 minutes to go, so
4 minutes. Go ahead. Oh no, the harmonica. Give me about when you were
I
kicking
don't have the
that.
harmonica with me, but you certainly could
This
tell
guy
that
used
story.
to kick on the, what was his name, Borominovic?
Yes.
He was working with Borominovic on the harmonica rap, and he was the one that was kicking the very small fellow, the little.
I was the guy.
you're
He kicked him
the,
by years. He kicked this little guy.
Tell him, please tell him that story. We got 4 minutes.
Manju, no, too much language. There's some really bad language.
Oh, no, well, you
I
can-
can't set it up. No, another time.
okay.
Another time. Seriously.
Great story.
Well, he covered the bad language, so we got that covered already.
I didn't.
he didn't say a bad word.
Well, let me tell you something. The last thing I'm going to say,
Yeah.
we talked about Burl before.
He was only kidding.
The one great line, they made a bet. The one great line is who's bigger, Forrest Tucker's
Oh, we're back to
or Milton Berle? And they made everybody was betting. Money was flying all over the place. And sure enough, Milton is out. And Forrest Tucker, go ahead, Forrest, show us what you got. He says, no, I'm not going to show you how big mine is. I'm just going to show you enough to beat you. That's what he told Burr. And he did. He was bigger than Milton Berle.
Oh my goodness.
Boris Tucker. And Milton Berle was an elephant.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Let me get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going to get arrested tonight.
I like that. Milton Berle the elephant.
He was something else.
Yeah.
And I felt so in.
Nice chatting with you. Have a nice afternoon,
Joe,
guys.
thank you so much for attending.
My pleasure.
Joe.
Greg, delightful.
Joe Turkel, everybody.
Joe Turkel
We'll
is
talk
leaving
some
us
more.
now.
If you
Indeed.
don't pay me next time, I ain't going to be here.
All
No, we
right.
don't pay. We don't pay.
God bless all humanity,
Thank you.
actors, everybody. Just vote Democrat and get away from these Republican bastards. That's all.
We haven't
Good
been
deal.
sexual. We
Fascist
haven't
bastard.
been political. Either one of those two things, and you got both of those things in on.
So long, guys. Enough?
Take care, Joe.
Gloria poured me some more coffee. And boy, he's a very interesting man, Joe, isn't he?
Very interesting, and
The
pleasure to
Shining-
have him.
Shining, I never knew The Shining was in America. Where is that hotel?
It's in America.
He said, where did he shoot The Shining?
England.
England.
Oh, was it?
England.
Oh, all right.
Wow, what a spooky show.
They didn't pay residuals. They shoot
Still
Kubrick
creepy.
his films over in London. They don't pay residuals.
Really? I didn't know that. They don't pay residual.
I used to think Stanley Kubrick was English, when I was a kid, because he did everything over there. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, it was a hell of a director. He's a hell of an actor.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Hell of an actor.
Played some memorable roles.
So, how's our day coming along? Pretty good?
I think we're doing pretty good today.
Everybody, we're here today.
Well,
I'm out of bed.
Everybody's here. Dan Gale even showed up, the man, our old friend who does not allow his face to be seen, but you can say something, say hello.
I've said hello. I've made my 2 cents.
Yep, Dan's here, Dan Gale.
Harry.
And Harry Northup is actually here.
Here comes Harry.
Yes.
Here's what I'd like to say. I just want to say that you shaved and with your cap and your red, you have a very baby face. You look like you're about 18 today. And you
Well, at
were
least
the
19.
funniest guy at the Don's 50th anniversary, and when you played Malanguena, that was just so supreme.
Are you going to come to my 50th?
If you invite me.
It's in August.
Is that your 50th birthday or wedding anniversary?
50th.
Oh, by the way, gentlemen, today is the 70th anniversary, yes, of Pearl Harbor.
I should have called my oldest brother at 5 minutes to 10 our time, right? Or would it be 5 minutes to 4? Because he was at Pearl Harbor when it was bombed. I mentioned that the other
I
day.
remember
He was a Pearl Harbor when it was
He
bombed.
was on the USS Ramapo oil tanker. I mentioned this to you.
4 or 5 years old. And I remember we were at my partner's mother's house. And I remember on the radio. And my father goes, hold it, wait a minute, something like that. And that's how I remember that. We're in trouble now. And you know what he had to do? That afternoon, they had everybody under, all kinds of alerts. And my father had to put on this hat and go out and patrol the neighborhood.
Where at?
In Chicago.
Well, I grew up in a little town, Nebraska, and even during the Second World War, we'd have blackouts. They'd turn out the lights.
Yeah,
remember
but it
that
doesn't
afternoon.
matter out there if you have a blackout. There's nothing going on when it
There was black out there anyway.
That evening,
It's all blacked out there.
I was worried about this. I hope that you think this is going to get an X rating.
No, it's YouTube.
I didn't say anything.
They don't. No, you just talked about the size of the man's penis
Midnight
and how big
Cowboy.
it is. And look it out. You didn't say anything I don't mind. Look.
Well, we should have Greg do the word of the day, and maybe you've got an appropriate word to follow up after Milton's elephant member.
Well, the word of the day was, all throughout the whole Milton situation, I was his understudy in the show, talking about the height of ineptness.
So what's the word?
So what's the word of the
One
day?
word?
Yeah, we need one word.
Life.
Life. L-I-F-E.
And it's off the top of his head, like, just slid off there.
Just like
One
that.
true gift in life, and that's birth.
There you
Yeah, but they
go.
take that away from you. They give you death.
You're alive.
Taxes.
Suppose you say you don't
And
want that,
taxes,
you
yeah.
take life, but you don't want that. They won't give it to you.
Except if you're rich, you don't have to pay any.
Well, gentlemen, let's wrap it up. Live from the West Hollywood Silver Spoon. Still here. I don't know how we're doing it, but we're still here.
To throw us out and close this place any minute, so tune us in. Here they are. There's the